Hello, so in this video we will continue with the setup that we started in the previous video, and we will look at the continuation of our webuzo panel. If you remember, in the last video we covered domain names, VPS server, and the webuzo panel, and I explained in that video that you should, if you are getting started, you should go for a minimum of a VPS server. The reason why I said you should go for a minimum of a VPS server is because you would be able to run your email marketing and your list management from your own server, and you don't have to pay another service to do that. Because if you don't get a minimum of a VPS server, then it would mean that you would pay for your web hosting, and then you still need to get another service where you pay around $50 or thereabouts per month for just for your email marketing and your email management. So if you now add the cost of your VPS server with the cost of email marketing, when you add it together, you would look at maybe $150 every month just to keep your business running. And these are the basics that you need. These are the basic, very basic foundational fees that you need to pay monthly to have your business running. Now, if you get a VPS server, if you get a very good VPS server, because not all VPS servers are that good, if you get a very good VPS server, then you should be able to send your emails from your own server's infrastructure, and that means you would only get to pay the costs of your server every month. So instead of paying for email marketing and then you are paying for your server, your VPS server on a monthly basis, you pay only the cost of running your server every month, and you can pretty much do all the things you need to do from that server. So this video would continue from where we stopped in the last video. But before I go to the specific configuration of the webuzo panel, please let me remind you again that it is not only webuzo that you can use for your for the administration of your web hosting account or your server. There are so many other alternatives out there. There's webuzo, there's cPanel. I think I gave the example of cPanel in the last video. There are so many others, Vesta CP, ISP config, so many of them, WebMin, and so many of them out there. I also said in that video that for now I have only been able to work on webuzo in addition to cPanel, and that is what you would see in these videos. In subsequent, if I have time, I may research into other admin panels or other control panels, and as I get the information about how to use those panels, I'll make those information available, and I'll do videos and show you how to use those panels. But that does not mean you cannot go out there and research yourself. You can go out there and research for yourself. Also, when you're buying your VPS server, please understand that the higher the cost you incur in buying your VPS server, the more you would incur in running or maintaining your business every month. So there is a server that we have researched, and the whole package, including webuzo, would come down to just about 4,000 or 3,200 naira per month. So that is within the realms of affordability, I believe, for almost everybody. Now, let me quickly, before I go into specific configuration of the webuzo panel, explain, because I've been getting questions about that. Let me explain the difference between cPanel and webuzo. Now remember, cPanel costs around $19, around $15 to $20 per month if you have only 5 websites on your server. If you have more than 5 websites on your server, I think the price goes up for that. So the more sites you have, the more you now pay for cPanel. Before, it used to be a flat rate of, I think, about $15 or thereabout per month, between $15 and $20 per month flat rate. And regardless of the number of sites you have, you pay that amount. But now the pricing has changed. So what is this difference between cPanel and webuzo? Well, the difference between cPanel and webuzo basically is that webuzo is a single user account. Webuzo is a single user account in that Once you have your webuzo panel, I would show you all that in this video. Once you have your webuzo panel, that webuzo panel can only be used by one user. It means you would have only one username and one password. That means only one person can log in and act as the server admin, the administrator of the site part-time. Now, in the case of cPanel, cPanel has what they call a WHM, which is a web host manager. Now, what the web host manager does is that it gives you like a super user account. And then from the super user account, you can create sub accounts for as many domain names as you want. So if you have like 3 or 4 domain names, each of the domain names will have their own username and password. So let's assume that you want to help a friend and you want to host that friend on your server. You can, in cPanel, use the web host manager to create a segregated account for the domain of that particular friend. So if the domain of the friend is called myfriend.com, you can create a login for myfriend.com, and when myfriend.com logs into his own web hosting control panel, he only sees his own site. It is segregated. So even if you have 500 domains on your server, each of those domains can be segregated into their own accounts, and then 500 different people can use their sites without seeing other people's sites. So it's a multi-user thing for cPanel. Webuzo is a single user panel, which means the moment you have a webuzo account and you buy a webuzo license for $2.05 per month, you pay for your license every month, like I explained earlier. Now, the moment you have that license for $2.05 per month, the next thing that would now happen is that you have a single user account. Now, you can have 500 domains if you want. So let's assume that your business is growing and you are going into different other things and you want to have other sites. All you just need to do is register a domain name, change the name server to the name server that you created, that private name server that you created in the last video. Change the name server to that private name server, log into your webuzo account and do an add-on domain. Once you add the domain, that domain will also function as a site on its own. And then anybody coming to that site will see a different site. So if you have 500 sites, all the 500 sites can function on a single server. So the 3,200 naira that you are paying for this infrastructure can actually host as many sites as you want. So if you have 500 sites, if you have 1,000 websites, you can cram everything onto that server. And that's why I am recommending that if you know that you're going to be having a lot of sites later, then you should go for maybe like a minimum of like the 8 gig RAM, 200 gig. But if you know you're going to be having a lot of sites that's going to be doing a lot of work later, you can decide to expand that and go for the next package, which gives you more RAM for your server and more disk space. So when you're buying, you can always do that from the inception. Now, once you have all these sites, all these domains, if you have 500 domains on that server, you can only manage those domains from a single admin panel. So you would always go to the same admin panel in webuzo to administer those sites. That's the difference between cPanel and webuzo. Now that I've explained that, let me just go ahead and continue with the configuration from where I stopped in the last video. Now, in the last video, I told you to fill in your password, your email address, the username which you want to log in, the name server, NS1, NS2, and all of that. I said leave the license blank for now. Now, once you have done that, then I'm just switching to the screen now so that I can just show you and carry you along. Once you have done that, then you should get a screen like this. Now, this will tell you, okay, installation completed successfully. That means you have now set a password, you have set a username. And you can see that the username I set is Ogbeduru, like I said yesterday. And then the password is the one that you entered, so your password. So once you have done this, then it means that you have successfully completed the configuration of your webuzo panel. Now once you have done this, if you have done everything correctly, if you now go to the browser and you type in your website or your domain, I'm going to now start calling it a website. It's now a website because it is connected to a server. It was a domain before, but now we have married all the three things. We've married the server with the domain and the control panel. So we now have all the three things functioning as one. So I will now call it a website. It's no longer just a domain name, it's now a website. So if you type the URL of your website, mojoschool.club, if you have done everything successfully, this is what you would see for webuzo. If it's cPanel, you would see a different first page. So this is the first page that you would see, and this tells you that you have configured webuzo correctly. So please have this at the back of your mind. This shows you that you have configured webuzo correctly. This is a startup page. It is after you have seen this that you can now log into your admin panel and start other configurations that you will now use to make your website come alive and you can start running your business. So once you see this, congratulations, you have done and followed the instructions correctly. If you come to your website or your URL and you try to access it from the browser and you don't see the startup page, then you have not done it correctly. Now from this point onward, you can forget your IP address. Okay, you would only need your IP address if you want to act as a root user and you want to do things from your SSH panel. Now that is for admin classes, for those who would later want to go into server management, VPS server management. Then I have a video that goes in depth to give you the basics of being your own root admin. So you can request that video. It's a private video, it's not something that I release publicly. Now, once you have done this, you can forget about your IP address. So your IP address is the IP address for this demonstration site is 198.211.9777. Now at this point you can forget about the IP address. Each time you now want to administer your site, remember this is just what a visitor will see. So there are two sides to a site. Every site has two sides. The first side to a website is what your visitors will see. It's just like your house. Not everybody that comes to your house will be allowed to go into your bedroom. Not everybody that comes into your house who has access to the visitor's room can get to your master bedroom. So most visitors that come to your house, depending on the kind of visitor, will either meet in the visitor's guest room or your sitting room, and then from the sitting room they go back out. So the site, your website also is like that. Your website has two sides to it. The first site is what the public would see, and when we talk about what the public would see, that's that place where you see the webuzo panel displayed. So if I am a visitor to your website, that's what I would see. I would see the public pages. The public pages is where you have your about us, you have your contact us, you have your product information, you have your sales letters and things like that. Those are the things that a visitor would see. The other side to your website is the admin side. So there are always two sides to every website. There's always the public side and there's always the admin side. The admin side of the site is where you manage the site. That's where you create your emails, for instance. You don't expect the visitors to come to your website and start creating emails for themselves. So that's an admin function. The admin side is where you put the information that the public would see. So there are two sides to a site. So when you create your site at first, what people see, the first page that is displayed is the public page, but we have not added any information, and that is why it is like this. So in order for you to now start administration of that site, you need to go into the admin panel. And for webuzo, there are two admin panels. There is what is called the end user panel, and then there is what is called the admin panel. So even inside webuzo, there is the end user panel and there is the admin panel. So the admin panel gives you more functions, the end user panel gives you some functions, and I will show you all of that. Now, in order to access your admin panel for webuzo, now it's not easy remembering the IP address. Of course, if you go through this route, you would be able to log into your admin panel, but it's not easy remembering this URL. So what you do is that you just use your domain name, that's the name of your site, and then you just go and do a colon and use 2002. So you can use 2002. If you try 2002 and it's not working, please try 2003. If you try 2003 and it is not working, try 2004. If you try 2004 and it is not working, try 2005. Both 2002 and 2003 will take you to the end user panel, and 2004 and 2005 will take you to the admin panel. Let me just do the two so that you see how it works, because I believe if I show you, it will take out confusion. So I go to mojoschool.club and I go to 2002. When I go to 2002, I am given the admin panel, and only those who have the username and the correct password should be able to log in at this point, and that should be you, because you are expected to be the administrator of the site. Please always remember that the passwords that you choose for your website will determine if you will get hacked quickly or not. This is something that you need to pay attention to. So when you are setting the password for your webuzo panel from the start, it is very, very important. Don't use any word that you can just find just like that in the English dictionary. Because if a hack attempt is performed, one of the common ways of hacking a website is to just run usernames against all English words. So if you have used an English word, for instance, you use banana as your password, by the time a hack is run, it will log into your site. So you need to pay attention to that. Don't use your date of birth as your password. Anybody can guess your date of birth. So what is a strong password? A strong password is a password that is composed of upper cases, lower cases, numbers, and special characters. Let me go to the board and just try to explain this, because these things are very, very important. I've seen people make these mistakes, and at the end of the day, they are now like, oh, I got hacked. I just started my website. I got hacked. Somebody has taken over my server and things like that. So let's look at it. Now, a good password should have a combination of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and special characters. And it should be something that you can easily remember. So for instance, if I'm going to use my username Ogbedu now, if I'm going to form a password out of Ogbedu. So if I'm going to form a password out of Ogbedu, for instance, I would probably do something like capital O, capital G, B, E, alright? Okay, 2, 3. Then I go DURU, and then I now add probably a special character like a hash. So what have I done? Number one, if your password is less than 8 characters long, it is less than 8 characters long. If it's less than 8 characters long, no, this is greater than. If it's less than 8 characters long, then that password is considered to be weak. So your password should be at least 8 characters long. And you should not forget it, because if you forget your password, you may just lock yourself out of your VPS account. And if you lock yourself out of your VPS account, there's a lot of trouble. So your password should be at least 8 characters long. It should be something that you can remember. It should have upper cases, that's capital letters. It should have small letters. It should have numbers mixed in. It should have at least one special character. So if you look at this now, you can easily form your password. In fact, you can use your name to form your password if you want. You can just do something like, okay, if my name is Fisayo and this is my name, okay, I can decide to use my name as my password by going small letter I, small letter S, small letter F, small letter I, small letter S, and then the I in my name is all capital, alright, and then I add a series of numbers that I can remember, like 1582, and then I add a hash and a question mark. So this is something that I would remember. It's a password that I have created for myself. And if I count it, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the longer your password, the stronger your password. The longer your password, the stronger your password. Your password should have a mixture of capital letters, small letters, numbers, and special characters. So that's that about that. Let's go back to the screen and let me just log in to show you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to log into the 2002 account. Both 2002 and 2003 should log you into the same place, and then 2004 and 2005 should log you into the admin panel. So I'm just going to do my username, which is webuzo, and then I'm going to type in my password. All right, I hope I still remember the password. I hope. Good. Okay, I remember the password. So when you log in, this is what you see, and this is the end user panel. All right, this is the end user panel. So you can see the disk space on the server. This particular server is just a test server. I have 50 gigabytes of space. I have used 3 gigabytes of space. So this 3 gigabytes went to the installation of the server, the webuzo panel and things like that. Then I have my RAM. I have used only 26% of RAM. I have used only 1% of my bandwidth. So this is the end user panel, and everything you want to do, you can do from here. Now let me log out of this end user panel, and then let me log into the admin panel 2004. And then I'll now log back into each one again and show you how you can navigate in between no matter where you log in from. So I'm just going to go back here and I'm going to go to mojoschool.club. Instead of 2002 now, I'm going to use 2004. Now if I go through 2004, I would get to another admin panel. So I'm just going to do webuzo again, and I'm going to just log in again. The same username, the same password. It works. And once I log in, you would see that I am now in the admin panel of webuzo. So even inside webuzo, there are 2 panels. There is the admin panel and there is the end user panel. So this is the admin panel. Now I talked about a server. I talked about a webuzo license. When you install webuzo and you start using webuzo, your webuzo account does not come with a license. You need to buy that license at $2.50 per month later. And in the admin panel, you can easily buy your license. So all you need to do is come under this license type. Right now, the license that we have is a free license, and that would mean will be limited. So what we just need to do is from this free, just go and click on buy premium license, and then you can see the pricing of the licenses. So I'm just going to go to pricing just to show you the pricing of the license. And when you get here, you would see that, okay, if you are using a dedicated server, you know, I told you there's a dedicated server, there's a dedicated server, there's a VPS server and all of that. If you are using a dedicated server, the license will be $50 per year. If you are using a VPS server, the license is $25 per year. $25 per year. If you are using a monthly VPS license, this is the one I keep referring to. If you are using a monthly VPS license, you would pay just $2.05 per month for your license. Then of course, you can get a premium trial license. So if you are just starting and you feel, oh, I don't have money to pay for license yet, you can just apply for the premium trial license and you get 1 month free. So you get your license for 1 month for free, and then after 1 month you start paying $2.05. Now, all you just need to do at this point is that you do buy a license, and then when you do buy a license, you create an account. If you don't have an account, you create an account. If you already have an account, you log into your account. And then when you log into your account, from your account you would buy a VPS license. So you please don't make a mistake about it. Make sure that you buy a monthly VPS license. So as you are paying for your web hosting fee, you would also pay for your VPS license. And then if you don't have the $2.05 to pay for the first month, you can just go for the trial license, get it for 1 month, and then after that 1 month, you can now go ahead and start paying for your license. So if you can also buy the license directly from here by just clicking on buy premium license. If you do buy premium license, it takes you directly there, and then you can go and buy a premium license. Now, after your license has been purchased, you can always enter your license key. So you just come here, enter your license key, and then you put in your license key, your email address, and then you submit, and your webuzo account will be unlocked. So you'll be able to use the full features of your license. Please note, your license will always be tied to your IP address. So it is one IP address, one license, and it is very cheap. You get your server for like $6. You get your webuzo license for like $2.05 per month, and then you can always just use the features. Now, once you have purchased a license from webuzo or cPanel, if you have purchased a license from webuzo or cPanel, wherever you have purchased it from, please understand that they have a right to give you support because you are using their products. This is one thing that a lot of people don't know. So after I've helped them do a configuration of their server, they keep coming back to me to come and do support of their webuzo panel for them. If you have any issues at any time, go to the support section of the site and leave a support ticket. You have a right to that. That's why you are paying $2.05 per month. So if you have a problem with your server, something is not working right, you can always reach out to them and ask them for help, and they would help you. The same thing goes for cPanel. So you don't need to run to me, you don't need to run to anybody. You just ask them any questions that you have, and then follow their user manuals, and you will be able to pick up from that point. So have that at the back of your mind. Now, when I log into this place, I am now logged into the admin panel. Let me just do it one more time because this is the startup video. So I would try to repeat so that you can get it clearly. So I'm just going to log out. I'm going to do it again, but this time around I will not be as slow as before. It will be faster. So I'm going to go back to mojoschool.club, and I'm going to go to 2002. Now, if I go to 2002, I will log into the end user panel, and I'm just going to do webuzo here, and I'm going to just do the password, and I'm going to log in. Now, when I log in, you would see that I will log into the end user panel where I have full control of my VPS server. I have full control of my VPS server. Now, from here, I can easily go to the admin panel. All you need to do is point here and go to the control panel, and it takes you to the admin panel. So if you need to do anything that has to do with admin functions, like you want to do updates of your webuzo panel, you want to do some installations, you want to do management of your softwares and things like that, you can easily do this from your admin panel here. Now, you can also go to your end user panel from your admin panel by just going here and clicking end user panel. Now if you go to end user panel here, you will come back to the end user panel. It's as simple as that. Now once you are in your end user, so I've talked about the license already. Now once you are in your end user panel, the first thing you want to do is you want to go to the advanced setup. So you want to go to advanced settings and you want to see what services are running. You want to see what services are running. It is very, very important that you do this first. The first time you get to your server, you want to see what services are running. Now, for your site to function well, there are some things that you need to see here. Number one, you need to see this Apache and the status must be running. Sometimes you might get to Apache and you will see that the status is not running. If it's not running, what you do is that you restart Apache. Now you must also see MySQL and it must be running. If it is not running, your site will not function well. You should have this pure FTPD. It should be running. If it's not running, then something would go wrong somewhere. You need to understand that. Bind should also be running. Exim should be running. Now there are some things that you should have running that is not here yet. It's because it's a fresh server. So here are the things you need to do. The first thing you need to do is you need to add the remaining services that are not running. It's all these things are there in the manual, but I don't know why people are finding it very difficult to follow. So what you want to do is you want to go to this search box here, and one of the things that you need to have running here that is not there is what we call Dove quotes. So in addition to Apache, MySQL, POFTPD, Bind, Exim, you want to also have Dove quote. The Dove quote has to do with your emails. So what you are just going to do is you are just going to type what you want. So once you type it, I've not even finished typing, and you can see under utilities, there's Dove quote. So I'm going to have Dove quote running. So I'm just going to click on Dove quote and I'm going to install Dove quote. Now, depending on the speed of your server, this will take just a moment to install. So once it is installed, you go back to your services, inspect your services and ensure that Dove quote is running. Then you install the rest. Another thing I like to have installed is what's called Spam Assassin. I'm going to show you all of that, and these are basic configurations that you need to have running on your server. These things are not difficult. These things are not difficult, and usually these things are one-time setup. If you are installing your email marketing application, whatever problem you want to face, it's a one-time setup. Once you do it once and it starts running, it will keep running. The same thing with your server. Whatever problem you are facing now, no matter how hard it is looking like, once you have set it up, your server can continue to run for the next 10-15 years without a boot. That's the good thing about Linux servers. Unlike Windows, where you have to do reboot and reboot and reboot. One of the good things about Linux servers is that it can keep running for the next 10 years and you won't reboot. I have Linux servers that have been running for the last several years, and I can't remember the last time I went to the server to reboot it. So you can go to my website anytime and I am rest assured, even when I'm sleeping, that my server will be running. So Dove quote has now been installed. What you want to do is you want to go back to the home, that's the end user, and you want to go back to services under advanced settings, and you want to see that Dove quote is running. So you now have Dove quote now is running. So I have Apache, MySQL, POFTPD, I have Bind, I have Exim, and I have Dove quote running. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to install Spam Assassin. So I'm just going to go ahead and install Spam Assassin. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now they are saying that Spam Assassin cannot be installed in the free version of webuzo. Alright. So I need to get a license. If I don't have a license, I won't be able to install Spam Assassin. So that's one of the reasons why you need to get a license. If you don't get a license, you won't be able to install, you may not be able to use the full functions of this webuzo panel. So please just get a license, and once you've gotten the license, you will discover that all these things all these issues of you are not able to install, it just goes away. Now once you have done that and you have done your installation, you have installed Spam Assassin, spam assassin, you've done spam assassin, you've done exim, you've done dovecoat, you've done mysql, you've done apache, and all that is running. Another thing you want to make sure that you have on your server is PHP, because your site will run on PHP. That's what your site will run on. So you want to make sure, so what you just do is just type PHP and do a search or do a space. If you do a search for PHP, or you just press your space bar after typing, it should bring it out. Now you want to make sure that you have PHP running on your server. If PHP is not running on your server, things won't work well. So you are just going to go ahead and install minimum. Don't go for PHP 5.4, it is no longer supported. Don't go for PHP 5, it's no longer generally supported online. Go for a minimum of PHP 7.2. So just do PHP 7.2 and make sure that it is installed. Okay, it's saying that it cannot be installed on a free version, but the same way I installed dovecoat is the same way you install PHP 7.2. Now, once you have done that, I'll probably get a license so that I can, in the next video, I can show you through the rest of these things. But for now, let me just show you the things I can show you. So make sure that you have PHP 7.2 minimum installed. And as other versions of PHP are installed, I think PHP 7.4 is in the making. But right now, the latest version of PHP that we are using is PHP 7.3. But for compatibility with some of the softwares that you're going to be using later, make sure that at least you have PHP 7.2 installed on your server. So once you have done that, the next thing you want to do is probably you want to set up emails. So if you want to set up emails, what you want to do is you want to go to the section for emails. And when you go to the section for emails, you can create emails that you would use on your site. So all you just need to do is, maybe you want to create an email called admin@yoursite.com. Just go ahead and do admin@yoursite.com. Then put in a password and put in a password, confirm the password, and create that email. Once you create that email, you will notice that you now have an email here. And later, when you start configuring your Hulk Messenger software, if you are going to be using our own software for your email marketing, you can always see these mail settings to get the settings of your server. And once you get the settings of your server, you can always use it to configure your email marketing application. So that's that about that. So you can always create your emails. Next thing you want to probably do is, what if there's a scenario like I explained before? Now you have set up your first website, you want to do your second or your third website. How do you do it? Well, all you need to do is go to your domain name registrar, that's probably Dyna. or wherever you have registered your domain name. Now remember that in the last video you created a private name server. Now you don't need to create a private name server again. A private name server is something that you do just once. Now since you have created a private name server before, all you need to do is, for any domain name that you register after the first domain, you just change the name server. You will see the last video I talked about changing name server. So all you need to do is to just change your name server. Once you have changed your name server, you come back to your webuzo panel and just go to this add domain. When you go to add domain, what you just need to do is the new domain name that you just registered. Let's assume I have registered another domain name, kadunastartup.com, and I have changed the name server at my registrar. I will just come here and add that domain as kadunastartup.com. And once I add that domain as kadunastartup.com, this is domain name packed. I will just uncheck because it is not a packed domain. So I'll just uncheck this. And once I do that, I'll just add that domain. So once you do that, if you now go and you type kaduna.com, you should see something like this showing you that that website is also active. So you can add as many domains as you need to your account. What else should I cover? Now, another thing you want to configure is something called CSF. Now, CSF is a firewall program, and you can read more about CSF. It's a security program. Your server needs to be secured. Because the moment your site goes live, people start targeting you for no reason. For no reason. Either you have money or not, either you are doing well or not, either your website is making money or not. People start targeting you. They want to log in, they want to take over your server. So what you want to do is you want to put in the CSF as a security measure. Now, once you put in CSF, of course, I can't install because once you put in CSF, you activate CSF for your server and it will be there protecting your server in the background. That's also very important. Now, these are the basic things you need to do for your server. Then, of course, once you have done all these basics, the next thing you want to do is you want to add WordPress to your site. So you want to come here and add WordPress to your site. Now, if you come here under blogs and you notice that you can't find WordPress, don't be alarmed. It is possible that the software is not installed yet. Don't be alarmed. Just go over to the end user, to the admin panel. Alright? Come to the admin panel, then under software, go to your general scripts. When you go to your general scripts, you will notice here that there are 489 different softwares that you have access to. Out of these 489, only 55 is installed. So what you need to do at this point is just find the one that you need. So if you find out that WordPress is not installed, just come to WordPress, alright, select it, that's enable, select it. Once you select it, go down and I'm just going to go down and you save. I can't see the option for saving. Okay, just like before, in the free version, I can't save. I can't use this feature. So just go to WordPress, click it and save. And once you save it, WordPress will become active for you. So this pretty much covers all the basic things that you need to do. Now, once you have done all these basics and you have set up your server, the next thing you want to do is that you want to sit down to now start building your site. So from your admin panel, you can build your site. In subsequent videos, I will try to cover things like how do you FTP, how do you navigate, because beginners have a lot of problems with navigating their websites. And I've seen people who even delete their websites by themselves. I've seen it happen before because they don't know what they are doing. They delete their own website by themselves and then the website stops working. And they are like, my website has stopped working. It's because you're a beginner and you have done something wrong. So, once we complete, I'll get a license and then in subsequent videos, I would really do the installation of WordPress. I'll show you how. Those things are already covered in the manuals, but I'll show you how to install WordPress. And then after I've shown you how to install WordPress, I'll show you the basics of how to build simple sites. So once I show you how to build simple sites, you can just go ahead from there and continue on your own. There are a lot of videos. When you go to YouTube, there are a lot of videos that show you how to build different types of sites, different types of software. So don't be lazy. Don't keep coming back to me to tell you, I'm giving you all the basics, I'm giving you the foundation. So pick it up from there and go ahead. Watch videos on YouTube. Spend your time to watch videos and sharpen your skills. Don't keep running back to me for everything. I'm also a very busy person. Just like you are trying to make money and trying to run your business, I'm also trying to make money and trying to run my business. So you can't be coming to me for everything. Despite the fact that I'm doing it for free. So go out there and learn, improve your skills, sharpen your skills. And then those areas that are difficult to understand, I'll always come around, do videos on them to make it simpler and so that you can catch it on time. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.